What's going on, everyone? Your mom's favorite YouTuber, KKS here, and welcome back to another video. Um, what the title says, the best fits for Deshaun Watson. I'm making a tier list for it. So, yeah, basically the tiers are perfect fit. That means their team is in perfect position to trade for him, and Deshaun Watson would be a perfect fit on this team. And then Great Fit is just the same but a little worse. And then Would Never Happen is either like your quarterback's Patrick Mahomes and you won't want him, or um, like there's some cap issues, or they're within the same division, stuff like that. So we'll get to it. Um, and yeah, before we start, I'd like to ask all of you guys to please subscribe for more of my videos. If you enjoy this one, then you'll enjoy the rest of my content. And also, if you enjoy, leave a like. If you didn't enjoy, leave a dislike. Let me know in the comments why. And let's get into it. So, first, we have the Arizona Cardinals. That would never happen. They already have Kyler, they don't need him. Next, we have the Denver Broncos. Now, this is an interesting one because obviously Drew Lock was not great last year. He showed flashes of his potential, but overall it just wasn't a good season. So I think this would be a great fit. I don't think it's perfect because um, the Broncos cap situation would be weird, and I think they'd have to let go of Von Miller to make this trade. Plus, they'd be giving up on Drew Lock, who they committed to being the franchise guy. However, Deshaun Watson would fit perfectly in with the offense. They've got Melvin Gordon as running back. Philip Lindsay's a free agent, but I'm sure they will try to their best to bring him back. But Cortland Sutton's going to be back next year. He's going to have Jerry Jeudy to throw to as well. Noah Fant. Um, just great offense with if Deshaun Watson's there. So I'm putting it in as a great fit. Next, the Atlanta Falcons. Um, this one is a good fit. I don't think Atlanta would be in this discussion though, because I don't remember off the top of my head how their cap is, but I don't remember it being so good. And in order for this to happen, they would have to be sending Matt Ryan to Houston or somewhere else in a three-team trade, and that's not going to be easy because Matt Ryan doesn't fulfill a lot of teams' timetables, and I don't think he'd be matching Houston's either. So I don't think Houston would take Matt Ryan, and in order for this to happen, a third team would have to be involved. Next, the Cleveland Browns wouldn't happen. Baker had a great season. He's not like an elite quarterback just yet, but they would not give up on him this soon for Deshaun Watson. It would be giving, and they'd have to give away too much. They wouldn't do it. Ravens also would never happen. Lamar Jackson. Titans also, they're in the same division. Texans would never trade him there. The New York Jets. Here, I think it's a great fit. I'd put him below the Broncos because obviously they weren't a great team last year, and the Broncos were an injury-riddled team that still has a lot of talent. And while the Jets do have talent, it's just not as much as the Broncos. However, what the Jets do have over the Broncos is a lot more cap space. And so they'd be able to easily take the Deshaun Watson contract, I mean, and they could send Sam Darnold as in return to the Texans. And I think Sam Darnold's trade value would be more than Drew Lock's. So we're gonna put the Jets there. You would have trouble with receivers to throw to. They have Crowder, who's a great receiver, but outside of that, they'd have to draft one because Denzel Mims didn't do much last year, and other than that, they don't really have a good offensive core. The Rams, they just traded for Matthew Stafford. They're good. The Panthers, this is a perfect fit. Perfect fit because last year the Panthers were a very young team. They weren't very successful. However, The offense didn't have Christian McCaffrey. It had a mediocre quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater, who even then he missed a few games as well. And at receiver, the Panthers, who's the Panthers receiver? Oh, DJ Moore, right. DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. I don't know why I didn't remember that. But those are two really good receivers. Robbie Anderson had a great year last year. DJ Moore, he fell short of my expectations, but he was still very good. And I think with Deshaun Watson, it will be the perfect guy who could help elevate DJ Moore's game. And he won't have to do like as much as he's been doing in Houston, carrying the team, because he's going to have Christian McCaffrey. And depending on if they bring back Curtis Samuel, he won't have to worry too much about getting the balls primarily to Robbie Anderson or DJ Moore deep down the field. So perfect fit. Also, Matt Rule is a great coach, and I think Carolina will be a playoff contender with Deshaun Watson for sure, and in a year or two possibly become Super Bowl contenders if they build that roster and that very young but talented defense. The Indianapolis Colts, they just got Carson Wentz, so it wouldn't happen. And also, they're in the same division, so it wouldn't happen. I don't know why the Chargers are here twice, but that would never happen. They've got Justin Herbert, they're good. The Vikings, they have Kirk Cousins, and I think this would be again. I think it's meh because again, in order for this to happen, Kirk Cousins would have to be gone, and I don't know if Houston would take Kirk Cousins as part of that trade. And even if they get rid of Kirk Cousins, the cap is still a big issue, and I just don't see it working out. I don't see. I mean, it would be a great. I'll put him in good fit because he still has. If the Vikings somehow made it possible to happen, he would have a great offense to work with. He'd have a top five running back in Dalvin Cook, a top five receiving duo in Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, and he's got couple solid tight ends. Kyle Rudolph is getting older. However, Irv Smith is getting older in a good way. He's getting experience, and I think Watson will be perfect for Irv Smith. I think if the Vikings sign an offensive lineman or two, then he'll be protected enough, and I think that the Vikings will have a top offense with Watson. But again, it's very unlikely simply due to Kirk Cousins and the contract. And also, Kirk Cousins wasn't that bad last year, so it would be less likely for the Vikings to trade for him than like the Broncos or Jets. Dallas Cowboys. If this were up to me, it would never happen and I would pay Dak. However, I mean, obviously, I would have paid him by now, but well, for the Cowboys, I think Deshaun Watson. Okay, I have to say meh because I just don't see like the need to give up so many. You would have to give up several first round picks to get Watson. And why would you do that when you could just get Dak? And you'd also have to pay Watson the money anyways. Just pay Dak the money. Dak is a very good quarterback, not quite Deshaun Watson's level, but still, like it's not worth giving up three first round picks for when you could get Deshaun Watson. However, there is always the possibility that they think that that's the way to go, so I'm gonna put it at meh. But I would not do that. Bengals also they have Burrow. I think they're good with him. The Jaguars. This is the Jaguars I would put them in good fit, but same divisions gotta be would never happen. Buccaneers would never happen. Packers would never happen. Steelers also very highly unlikely simply because they've committed to Ben Roethlisberger and there's no cap in Pittsburgh. And again, Ben Roethlisberger would have to be on the move somewhere, and really, who's willing to take Roethlisberger's contract, age, and all that? So, would never happen, in my opinion. San Francisco 49ers, this one, perfect fit as well. Um, The main things that are required for a Deshaun Watson trade to happen are assets, which the 49ers have, a tradable quarterback, or a, like in the Jets or Broncos case, a young quarterback who really doesn't have much, um, like isn't taking up much cap space. So either a need at quarterback or a tradable quarterback. And I think Jimmy Garoppolo could be somebody that the Texans would accept a trade for, along with other assets. And the third thing is cap space. The 49ers, they have cap space. However, they also have a lot of free agents. But if they were to make a trade for Watson, they wouldn't have to bring back certain free agents. So, oh yeah, and the fourth thing would be a talented offense. Watson is only going to accept the trade to somewhere where he see, he sees an opportunity to be successful. And um, all these teams, Denver, he would be successful. Carolina, over time, he would. New York, he thinks he would, and it's actually quite possible. They've got a whole overturning there. And Atlanta, great offense. Minnesota, great offense. Dallas, great offense. It could all work out. And so the 49ers have all those things. 49ers have a great running back group, or whoever Shanahan decides to plug in there, it works perfectly. They've got Mostert, they've got Wilson, they've got Hasty as well. It's going to be good there. If they get Watson, they would probably not re-sign Kyle Juszczyk, which is okay. And they probably would still try their best to sign Trent Williams to keep that offensive line pretty decently slightly above average. And the defense hopefully comes back healthy next year. And with Deshaun Watson, the 49ers are immediate Super Bowl favorites. I just don't see a single team in the league with a better roster than the 49ers with Deshaun Watson. So, perfect fit in my eyes. Garoppolo would have to be on the move to Houston or maybe somewhere else even, but it would take a few first round picks, as what more first round picks than probably the Jets, because San Francisco is going to be near that number 32 pick. Um, since with Watson they'll be Super Bowl contenders. Next up, Miami Dolphins. This one is gotta be great fit for me because um, I wouldn't want to give up on Tua yet. He showed flashes last year, and while Watson is a proven product, Tua still, it would be risky to make that trade. Um, I mean, I would still make the trade. However, it's not like an obvious decision like New York, Denver, Carolina have to make. So I'd say great fit, but also who does he have to throw to? He has Devontae Parker and Mike Gesicki, but they were quite inconsistent last year. So they'd have to get another offensive attacking threat. And at running back as well, if Miles Gaskins is their guy, is he? I don't know. Um, but it's going to be a great fit, but there are some minor concerns there. Oakland Raiders. For me, this is meh, simply because Derek Carr has proven that he's an above average quarterback. And is it worth giving up, much like the Cowboys, is it worth giving up Derek Carr and a few first round picks? I put them in front of the Cowboys, honestly, because Dak is a little higher than Derek Carr offensively. Offensively, what am I saying? They're both play offense. But Dak is a little bit better than Derek Carr. So I think it's quite a possibility. They're kind of on the borderline of good fit and meh, but I think Deshaun Watson on not Oak. Did I say Oakland this whole time? I meant to say Las Vegas. Anyways, I think Deshaun Watson in Las Vegas would be good for him, great for the Raiders. But I mean, Derek Carr, I wouldn't give up on him if I were Vegas. So it's gonna be meh and borderline with good fit. I might move him up. We'll see. It shows the Redskins, but that's the Washington football team. They also require a quarterback. I'm gonna put them as a good fit. I'd put them ahead of the Falcons and Vikings though. Because the football team have a decent offense, not quite the offenses of the Falcons and Vikings, and they have a need at quarterback. Um, but they don't have a wide receiver duo like the Falcons or the Vikings have. They have McLaurin, a great young receiver, but McLaurin quite isn't at Julio, Calvin Ridley, Justin Jefferson's level. But the football team also have great running backs. They've got Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick, and I think Watson would be able to take that offense to the next level. But will he want to go there? I'm not sure. That's why it's a good fit. But this would make the football team the number one team in the NFC East by far. Not by far. Maybe the Cowboys are slightly behind, but I think with Deshaun Watson, the football team will be great. It's just a matter of will he be there or not. Next, the Seattle Seahawks. Well, I would say would never happen, but who knows what's going on with this Russell Wilson situation. So they're a meh because I think at the end of the day, they'll do whatever they can to keep Russell Wilson. But yeah, because I don't think in order to get Deshaun Watson, they need to give Russell Wilson, but Russell Wilson would not want to go to the Texans, and it would be difficult to make it happen. But if the Seahawks are really determined to do that, they could make it happen. So they're gonna go under meh, borderline of meh, but and would never happen. But there is the slight chance that it could happen. Texans, yeah, you guys fumbled the bag. You are the last team who's gonna keep him. Chicago Bears, this one is, I'm going to go good because, again, they're paying Nick Foles a lot. And in order to make this happen, Nick Foles would have to be gone. They've got Trubisky. He honestly was not terrible last season. They may decide to give him another shot. I don't know. And they are also, I don't remember their cap either, but I assume it's pretty high with Khalil Mack getting paid, Robert Quinn getting paid, just a lot of guys. Plus, Allen Robinson is a free agent, so who is Deshaun Watson going to throw to if he's gone? So it's going to be a good fit because they need a quarterback, but it's would Watson want to go there? Detroit Lions, yeah, it would never happen because Watson wouldn't agree to a trade to go there. Unfortunately for Detroit Lions, they're ahead of the Texans, but it would never happen. I'm not really paying attention to the order here, but just to make sure the Texans are last is all I really care. Yeah, it would never happen. They just got rid of Stafford. They're in a clear rebuild. Watson probably wouldn't want anything to do with going from the Texans to the Lions. So yeah, would never happen. The Giants, this one is a meh for me, but ahead of the Seahawks and Cowboys because I know the Giants like Daniel Jones. They want to give him one more shot next year, and it would be too quick to give up on Daniel Jones, honestly. So they're gonna go under meh. The Saints, this would be also meh, but in front of the Giants. And yeah, just in front of the Giants because it would be a great fit because that would immediately make the Saints Super Bowl favorites. However, where are they gonna get the money from? So honestly, yeah, they're probably gonna be behind the Seahawks. I forgot how deep they are into cap trouble. But if they really are determined again to make it happen, they can. But it's just not likely how deep they are into cap troubles. The Bills would never happen. They have Josh Allen. Oh, why are the Cardinals here twice? Chiefs would never happen. Eagles, I'm gonna go meh because they traded Wentz and it seems like Jalen Hurts is their guy, but I mean, no, they never came out and publicly said Jalen Hurts is our guy. So again, it's a possibility, But I think they're gonna roll with Hurts. They can always trade Hurts, and I think the Texans would accept the deal with Hurts and a lot of other assets. But to me, it's just not likely to the Eagles simply because of Hurts. And also, would Watson want to be on that team? Because they don't have many offensive weapons other than Miles Sanders. Zach Ertz wants to leave, so who knows? So I'm gonna put him at meh. And lastly, we have the Patriots. And this one, it definitely has a chance of happening. It's not meh. It's not only a good fit, it's I'm gonna go perfect fit. I no, very edge, great fit. Because the Patriots offense has been horrendous the last 2 years. They tried it with Tom Brady, the guy who just won the Super Bowl with the Buccaneers. They tried having using that offense with Tom Brady. It made Tom Brady look washed. That's how bad the Patriots offense was. A guy who just won the Super Bowl looked washed with this offense. It's horrible. It made Cam Newton look bad. It made Tom Brady look bad, and what I think Watson could make himself look okay, but it's not a perfect fit. But they could always improve the offense. It would be difficult having to trade away a lot to get Watson, but they could always sign somebody. But Watson with Bill Belichick would be a great fit. Also with Josh McDaniels, I have my concerns with him, but I think he'd make Deshaun Watson work. They need a wide receiver. Edelman hopefully could be back healthy, but N'Keal Harry hasn't developed, and I wouldn't want to take the risk of putting throwing Deshaun Watson in there with just Julian Edelman, who's coming off an injured season. So great fit. They've still got a great defense, and I think if the Patriots build that offense, they could make it work. So yeah, here's the tier list for the best fits for Deshaun Watson. And matter of fact, I'd put the Broncos ahead of the Patriots because their offense is better. That's the only reason. So yeah, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please like the video. Please subscribe again. It helps me out a lot. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all next time.